Levis. That's a pro throw. Oh, boy. Right on target with plenty on it for a first down to the 27-yard line to Jordan Dingle. Kentucky will take its time. Levis, the keeper. Well, he lost the football on the contact. And Ole Miss has it.
Levis was trying to fight for yardage. There's the first hit. Here comes number 11, Keys, and knocks the ball out.
Syracuse played in the NFL. Quick pop. Barry on Brown. Stays on his feet. He can fly. They have an angle. Brown inside the 10. Isheem Young and DeAndre Prince managed to catch him. Got them down here. Levis. Batted out of the air. It's a free ball. Jared Ivey knocked it out for Ole Miss. And Tavius Robinson has recovered.
Honey, where are you going?
Where are you going?
Again? Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports.
Have fun with the guys at the bar talking sports, Dad.
Do you want to help support the show? Well, we're doing it for beer. So go ahead and buy us a beer. You can do that through Venmo at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, and we'll look forward to drinking that beer on you. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your sports podcast that puts together all the college football happenings of the week coming up. We're predicting things before they even happen on this show is what it comes down to. But I'm starting the show off this week. You know how I'm doing a little bit of a play-by-play before the show starts. I take some stuff. Yeah. So this week, I'm doing Kentucky versus Ole Miss last week in the last 2 minutes of the game. Fumblerooski, exactly. 2 fumbles in the last 2 minutes made it so Kentucky, they drove it down to the 10 and 20-yard line and fumbled twice. It was bad.
The best team did not win that ball game.
The best team did not win. Well, I would say the best team won the ball game, but both teams played sloppily, and Ole Miss just happened to figure it out and put it together at the end. You know what I mean? That's what it really came down to. But that's what I started off with because I just thought that was an interesting game the way it ended.
They were better enough that day.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Ole Miss was that much better. I think Kentucky was just that much more sloppy.
Yeah. They had 2 chances to put up 7 points.
Or you're going to field goal tie it, and you put the ball on the ground. You're going to lose.
Yeah, so that's why I started off with that, because you had kind of gave me the idea to do that in the beginning of the show, and it kind of throws something. It flows well with the show, doesn't it? Yeah. So that's what I got on the show this week. But let's go ahead and do some introductions real quick. Everyone knows the voices, but we got my man, the Rebel.
What's up?
What are you drinking, Rebel?
Always Makers, man.
Makers
always.
And Coke, right?
Yeah, and this is the turkey. This is 3 weeks in a row.
So, do you drink it with diet or regular Coke?
Coke Zero.
Coke Zero. Oh, they have Coke Zero here.
Well, diet.
MJ's Bar and Grill does not have Coke Zero. All right. Well, you know what?
Truth be known, it's probably Diet Pepsi. Truth be known.
Actually, it is Pepsi here, I believe. MJ's Bar and Grill, best bar and grill in Columbia to do a podcast in. And we got my man Ripper the Predictor, home of the Ripper Report, doing some good writing and some good predicting over here every week, predicting the numbers. I don't know if it's good or not, but at least it's
entertaining.
It's entertaining, yeah.
Are you not amused?
Are you not entertained?
What are you drinking, Ripper?
I got Shinerbach tonight.
Okay, nice. Yeah. That's the good stuff right there.
Yeah, and one of them I don't have to pay for it.
I know.
Yes, oh, we got our drinks paid for.
We got our drinks paid for the first time. Thank you, listeners, for supporting the show like that. Got some money coming in.
I really want to know who to thank, though.
We're no longer a non-profit organization. We're actually no longer a money-losing organization.
No.
We're still losing money. Yeah.
Because the profit margin, it's no.
Yeah. Because we sunk a lot of money into beer over the last.
We're making
3
MJ's
years.
money, so it's good.
Exactly. We're keeping the business open on Tuesday nights. You know
Correct.
what I mean? But so first round of drinks we're on the show tonight. Thank you very much to my woman, Beth. Beth gave it to us.
I thought it was Beth.
But we're not going to say that she's on the show or not.
Right.
Because it's all anonymous. No one actually knows who the females are on this show. Okay? But yeah, so we did get some money coming in, and thank you very much for that, Beth.
There must be a story behind that you're going to have to catch me up on later.
She just
The
had
anonymity of it all.
Oh, I'll tell you about I'll tell you now. Why
That's
not?
a good word, huh?
No,
Anonymity?
so back in the day, we started a motorcycle game called the LCMC, the Lake Carolina Motorcycle Club, right? There was 2 motorcycles in the entire club, mine and my friend Kevin's, right? Who, I forget what we called him, the dude. He was the dude, and I was Hanger, right? Chopper and the Rebel. Everyone started joining the motorcycle game.
I had a bike.
Oh, you do have a bike. That's
did.
right. Oh,
I
you don't
did.
have your bike anymore.
No.
So anyway, that's how it became anonymous, because we were just joking around. We're sitting around, started a motorcycle game right here.
For safety purposes. Protect the identities of those
and we
doing
always
illegal stuff.
And we always had this joke. It was this picture of an Asian guy on his motorcycle with his whole family on the bike. There was 8 people on the bike, and we're like, this is the LCMC right here. So that's how we got anonymous names on the show.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's why you're anonymous. And some people just don't want to be linked to such a hard-hitting show like this. We're doing controversial stuff, and when things are controversial, you don't want to have your name attached to it, right? So that's how it came to be. But everyone knows us on the Facebook group. So.
True.
Except for Chopper, nobody knows who Chopper is.
That's fine.
That's nobody knows.
No, he wants to be incognito.
He wants to be incognito. Yeah. He says, "Do not link me to this show." So, Cheeks, go ahead and put your first drink on my tab. All right.
What?
I know, because we got paid by some lady named Beth. All right.
Whoa, who's that?
I know, right? So we got paid. Somebody sent us some money. Thank you very much for doing it. Venmo, Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, is the Venmo if you want to send us some money to buy us a round of drinks. Boom, there we go. Order up. What are we going to talk about right off the bat? This is our icebreaker topic. We're calling it Order Up. In this, since we're at a bar, that's what you always say, right? So, seems a lot of teams are parting ways with their coach already this season, right? And a lot of coaches are on the hot seat right now. You got Auburn, Texas A&M, Arkansas. Those 3 programs in the SEC alone are talking about getting rid of their coach. Nebraska already got rid of their coach. Wisconsin just got rid of their coach. I can understand firing a coach in the middle of the season if the team's not on board with it. Right. If you've lost your team, that's one thing, But the question I have is when is the ideal time to cut the coach, and should these coaches be off the hot seat for a lot longer than they really are? Because, in my opinion, I don't know if Auburn having their coach on the hot seat right now after a year and 18 months or something like that as the coach, or Arkansas or any of these teams, it's not good for morale for the team. But what are y'all's thoughts on this? Let's go ahead and hit it up. Cheeks,
Thank you.
give it to me.
So I think that there's 2 layers in this. One is if they've been there for a while and they're just sucking, do you give them a chance because they've proven themselves or they haven't proven themselves? There's 2 rules of thought on that. I think that if you're a new coach, you've got to have a little bit more levity because they're getting used to the facilities, the team, the call book. There's just so many things that go into that. And I think it also depends on how long the coach has been playing for. So if he's been there for a long time and the last few seasons haven't looked good, then maybe after the 4th game.
But look at Arkansas. They've been doing pretty well this season, and after a couple little losses, they're already talking about getting rid of them. Same thing over at Texas. I mean, not Texas A&M. Sorry, Wisconsin. Like, they had pretty good seasons for the last 3 seasons, and then all of a sudden they're cutting the coach. To me, it doesn't make sense to do it. And in the SEC, like, you're playing at a high level all the time in the SEC. Seems like Big Ten coaches stay around a little longer than SEC coaches. Like, if you're not on it within the first 3 seasons, you're done. Look at Carolina. Look at Florida. Look at these programs that are just axing their coach right off the, I mean, last season Florida fires their coach, and he had a season where he won the SEC East the year before. What's going on?
So when I look at Wisconsin, I think it was an opportunity. Paul Chryst has done a good job, but ever since Jim Leonhard came back, he was a star safety for their program in college. Ever since he came back, became the defensive coordinator, he just appeared to be the coach in waiting, basically. And I think this was just the right time for Wisconsin to give him that opportunity to see what they have in him and his head coaching potential.
After a bad loss to Illinois, who's 4-1, like, just doesn't seem that.
They're not 4-1.
The Illini are 4-1.
No, I'm talking about Wisconsin.
No, I'm saying.
Oh, a bad
He's basically
loss.
saying is Illinois really a bad loss this year. Based on
No,
how
it's
they
not a
performed.
bad loss.
Yeah, they're a pretty good team this year.
Right. I never said that. I think it was just the right time for them to make that change to see what they have in Jim Leonhard, as he is the potential future of the program there.
Here's my take on this: is everything that has been said thus far is 100% accurate. I would never argue with it, and I feel the same way. But what is being neglected here is what makes the world go round. Money. So what you have to do now is you have to look at programs individually. You have to look at their tradition. You have to look at their donors. You have to look at what buyouts. Buyouts is what has caused this chaos in the coaching world. If you don't have a big buyout, they will cast you aside in a minute. If you have big donors, look at Auburn. Auburn has a lot of money coming through Auburn, and they are breathing down the necks right now going, get this guy out of here, or I will pull my money from the program. That's what's determining this. It's not right. It's not fair to the coaches. It takes a coach to recruit his guys. You hear that all the time. A coach walks in years one, he's got the guys before him. What if he runs a different offense? You got to give him time to develop that. But when it comes down to the dollars and the cents of it, nobody cares. They go, okay, if I cut him today, I lose $15 million. I cut him tomorrow, I lose $10 million. That's how they look at this. That's why the Nebraska thing, they must have really, the donors of that program really wanted him gone, because if they waited 3 more weeks, the buyout was half of what they had to pay Scott Frost. And so that's the world we're in today, is all of a sudden this guaranteed money, this buyout money, and that's what you're seeing right now.
So what you're saying is the boosters rule the roost.
Always.
The donors rule the roost. And if they say go, then
they're gone.
Then the school has to respond.
When it goes, the Nebraska Scott Frost situation, I think, is a little bit different. I don't know the validity to this story.
He lost his team.
He lost his team, but there were a lot of reports coming out that he was, habitually late to his own practices and team meetings, and dealing with some significant alcohol issues.
And the thing with Nebraska, from some of the folks that you read, again, take the talking heads for do they really know what they're talking about or not. Nebraska is very traditional, and he did a lot for that program while he was there, and they wanted to do right by him, and they didn't feel like suffering through 3 more weeks just so they could save a half a buyout was the right thing to do. So part of what you're saying is absolutely correct. I've heard the same thing, but they feel like they saved a little face by doing the guy right. And, that makes that job a little more attractive to the next guy coming in to say, okay, you know what, if I come in here and I flop around, they're not going to throw me to the wayside that quick without paying me my money.
And let's not forget, he was a legend as a player in Nebraska, so they're not trying to smear that memory of him for their program at the same time.
Yeah.
And breaking news, Aaron Judge just hit 62.
Oh, we can stop talking about it.
As we sit here.
Congratulations, Aaron Judge.
We're not talking baseball on this show.
Hold on.
Right now.
All rise.
All right.
Anyway, I digress.
Pretty impressive, man. I'm glad to hear it, because he's been striking out like every time he's up the bat.
167 times this year.
Yeah.
I think you posted that, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, I know this. Billy Napier just started as a coach in Florida, right? Wins at Utah, he's a hero. Wins against Utah, he's a hero. Loses to Kentucky, they're like, oh crap. And then barely beat USF, and the Florida Gator fans are already saying this guy needs to go.
But
and he's only been there for 4 or 5 games.
Well, let's put that on the fans and not the coach of the program.
No, exactly, but the boosters.
And I'm looking at you.
You got to give. I love the guy. I
Well,
watch
good.
his press
Napier's a
conferences.
fantastic coach.
Yeah,
but what I will tell you this again, I'm circling back around to my initial point. He's coming from a smaller program. His contract isn't as big as if they would have gone out and signed a, no pun intended here, an Urban Meyer type guy who's going to have this huge buyout where they have to weather. Like, they're not going to have to weather it the way A&M is. A&M's buyout right now is just beyond stupid. So they're going to have to weather Jimbo whether they want him there or not. With Napier, he's a guy, this is his first step into the big boy program. The contract isn't quite as lucrative. The buyout isn't as much. So these fans, these supporters who think they know more than the guys that are in the locker room can start that chatter way earlier than if you've got one of these big name coaches.
I mean, are we getting to a point where we're going to have 1-year contracts for coaches?
No.
At that point?
I hope not. I hope not, because if so, the quality of the product on the field will suffer
Will be
immensely.
bad, yeah.
Yes.
No, I think you used to need to give a coach 5 years.
Absolutely.
5 years.
5 years is a good
Now-
I would not argue against that.
Now, I think it's reasonable 3 years.
2.5 years.
No, I think 3 years is still solid.
Yeah, but if you're
not
a-
everybody's getting that,
if
but
you're
I
a
think
coach
that's
for-
reasonable.
If you're a coach for 2 years and then you get
I mean,
halfway through the third
guys,
season.
I'm going to give you another example. Who was the hottest potential coaching prospect that had never had a head coaching job going into this season that got a job finally? Brent Venables. And
yeah.
there are people in Oklahoma calling for him to go now. And he's, 4 games into a season. They're like, you're supposed to be a defensive guy. You can't stop anybody. Our offense can't score. What have you brought to this program? They
Because
are.
you've been there for 9 months. You brought nothing to the program.
I get it, and I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, to your point of, are there 1-year contracts coming now? Is these programs now don't have any patience, and you've got to give a guy an opportunity. Again, Oklahoma's defense last year was trash. It's been trash for 5 years. You bring a defensive guy in, he's got to recruit his guys to run his type of offense. His type of defense, and to get an offensive coordinator. You're playing with other people's people.
Oklahoma's defense fell to the wayside once Lincoln Riley took over for Bob Stoops, honestly.
And I mean,
He was an offensive-minded coach.
And you have a defensive-minded coach there now.
Right,
You gotta
it's gonna take
give
some
him,
time.
You have to give Venables a couple years to get that together.
Yeah.
You do. There's no reason why you shouldn't give a coach 5 years. But like you said, the boosters rule the roost. They're in charge, I guess.
And I think when you're talking about the midway through your third season, are you talking about Scott Frost again?
No, he was there for 5 years, and then he was kicked, or 6 years. No, 5 years. Yeah.
He was at Nebraska.
I give you a better option.
Wow.
I give you the prime
60.
example of this. One of the most lucrative programs. How long was Tom Herman in Texas? 3
At best, yeah.
at
right.
best.
Well,
Why?
again, there's some other underlying issues
But
there.
the point being is, the natives got restless and said, get him out of here, and it got taken out of the program's hand. The oil money decided when he was going to go.
Right, but there was some other stuff that was going on there. So if
that's
they
the
can find a
icing
little
on the
dirt
cake.
on you, they're going to use that to
But
what
what's
they
saying-
perceive as their advantage.
But who went and dug the dirt? The powers that be, the money. That's who went and
Probably
dug it.
some local reporter, honestly.
That some guy with oil money sent to go dig it up.
No.
Bull.
No, I mean, these coaches.
Trying to get some of that oil money.
Maybe.
These coaches in the hot seat way too early, in my opinion, and there needs to be some control over the. I mean, I guess if you're the donors and you're in charge of everything, the boosters have that much power.
So one
then
point
so
to
be
think
it.
about, these coaches are recruiting high-end players to their programs. So if they're going to continue to cut these boosters and donors and the people with power and the say, they're going to start to realize, hey, if I keep axing my coaches, all these great players are going to start transferring to different programs.
And how many?
Where there's money.
And let's say this: how many times can Nick Saban say, "I've been around for 12 years," or he's been there for 16 years now?
Who's this?
Nick Saban's been at Alabama for 16 years now?
Yeah.
2007, 2006, something like that? He could say, I've been around for this long. You come here to Alabama, you know I'm going to be here in 4 years. I'm not going anywhere. You go to Florida, Billy Napier's got 2 years at best.
Yeah, you've got certain coaches that have established themselves and have been so successful that they're untouchable. I mean, look. Saban's going to leave when he wants to leave. He could have a losing season next year. He's going to leave when he wants to leave. Dabo's going to leave Clemson when he wants to leave. There's only a couple coaches.
But they're not going to lose donors because the donors are
Correct,
still
because
gonna be
what have you done? You have earned the right to sit here and decide on your terms when you're going to leave. But what it circles back around to is the almighty dollar.
It does come down to it.
What we got going on in week 6?
So let's get on to another topic, but we got an introduction.
That's right, we do.
The Chopper!
Chopper.
Shopper Incognito. That's his new name.
Shopper Incognito.
Incognito.
He shows up when he wants to show up, but he always shows up.
Yeah, Old Faithful.
The nameless one.
And what are you drinking? A little Incognito beer?
Clawhammer Oktoberfest.
Oh, just not a cool
It's October
tasty beer?
now.
It is a cold, tasty beer.
Clawhammer Oktoberfest. I might have to try that this weekend because that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about these week
is
6.
October.
Let's talk about these week 6 games, shall we?
Yes.
We'll start with TCU versus Kansas. TCU
The
is ranked.
Jayhawks, baby.
TCU.
They're my pick.
I hate
Rock
to
Chalk
say it.
Jayhawk.
No,
I think we talked about basketball this earlier.
I know. It pains me to say it because I'm a K-State alum, so ouch. You know, ouch.
Kansas 2-10 last season. TCU, generally a pretty good program, right? Ranked number 17. Kansas is ranked number 19. Honestly, I can't tell you what's going to happen in this game. Kansas is 5-0 and went 2-10 last season, like I said. But are they legit? You know, TCU has had their ups and downs in the program recent history, but they gave a solid foot whooping to Oklahoma last week. I mean, put up a ton of points. TCU has the second best total offense in the country, and Chopper just said it. TCU is going to kill.
Now you're
Kansas.
talking yards per game, not points per game.
Total yards, yeah.
Right.
Total
Guys,
Yes.
all I got to say is this.
Total offense. Total offense.
All right,
yeah.
so all I got to say is this. Tennessee Tech, West Virginia, Houston, Duke, and Iowa State. Iowa State being the
Now
best
Iowa
of all
State
the-
is always a good
Usually,
college
this
school.
year they
West
are-
Virginia, and there was another one.
Duke, Houston?
No, Houston.
No, the problem is all of them this year are in a down year. My point being is
For
this.
Kansas to
for
beat
Kan-
them, though.
It
Yeah,
don't
but-
matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's
It's
Kansas, it does.
no. You got mediocre playing mediocre is what I'm getting at. This particular year. That's my point. Is and I could be wrong. Look, I'm loving the Kansas story.
Yeah,
I really
good-
am.
good for Kansas.
I'm good for them. It's good for the program. I mean,
They're a bowl team
They
this
haven't
year.
been squat since Big Mangini or whatever his name
I
was.
One win away from a bowl.
Listen, everyone's
That's
a Kansas fan this year in some way because the team that goes from 2-10 to 5-0.
But if you were going to sit here and do predictions, Texas Christian crushes.
They're having. You said it. They're having game day there this
They
week.
are.
In Lawrence.
Like would you
First time ever. It's
Where
a new
did
city.
you read that at?
on the Ripper
On the
Report. The Ripper
Shameless
Report.
plug.
That was a great show.
So now let's
That
go
was
to the
great.
other side of the coin. TCU, are they for real or not?
TCU's for
So
real.
let me read these.
Why are they
Colorado,
only 17?
Tarleton State, I don't even know what that is. SMU, Oklahoma.
No, their only
So
big win
who's
is
scheduled?
their only big win is Oklahoma. We're not even sure if that's.
I mean,
a big
how's
win.
SMU?
They just had 4 of their best players going to the transfer portal, if that tells you anything.
Yeah.
Before or after they got beat?
No, SMU last week, they just
Okay.
announced 4 of their top skilled position players just said we're out of here. So
But I think on this particular game, we would all agree that TCU has the upper hand and is going to be
No.
What is
that's,
this?
That's the horn frog, man.
the horn
That's
frog.
the horn frog.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I thought you were trying to give me death.
No,
Actually, hey,
No,
you
it's
gotta put
this.
it up a
You
little
gotta
bit.
put it
There you
on.
go.
Yeah, it's the horn
All
frog.
right. So everyone could
I thought
know
you
Get your
still, I
knuckles
thought you
up.
still hang your
that
nose there.
the horn frogs are likely to win this game
Your
Against a
horn
fake
frog
bird?
is damaged.
against.
There's no such thing as a Jayhawk against a fake bird.
There's no. Oh, really?
Oh, I like the way you're talking right now.
Oh.
Go Wildcats.
Oh, you're
Chopper,
you
what
get
are your
people fired
thoughts
up
on
now.
this game?
Oh,
or are you
yeah.
asleep because it's not SEC?
No, I was half asleep.
Center of America.
I don't even think it's worth discussion.
Wow.
TCU. Big.
Wow.
TCU big. It's going to be a big. I mean, it's exciting to have game day come to Kansas. That's cool.
Yeah.
No, I like the fact that they're getting some notoriety. It's another experience. Look, having gone to a place that game day came for the first time, it's cool. It's good for the school. again, I'm rooting for them. I hope they can pull it out. If by chance they win this game, this conversation changes in a hurry because TCU is a legit defensive team.
They have a solid defense also. I think they're 5th in the nation or 6th in the nation for overall defense.
They might bring
But again, you just named off the 4 teams that they played.
What I'm saying though, this is going to be not to be cliche, a measuring stick for them. If they
for
go
both teams, really.
Look. If Kansas can even go in there and play them really, really close, then you go, okay, they're not a ranked team, but they aren't as bad as we thought they were 6 weeks ago.
3 days ago, neither one of these teams were ranked.
Correct.
3 days.
That's true. Yeah,
Now they're both in the top 20.
Yeah, TCU beats Oklahoma, and Kansas is undefeated, and hasn't beat anyone that's truly legit yet.
So let's get to the next one that we know now the Chopper will dive into because it's SEC.
Let's talk about some SEC football, why don't we?
Finally.
Number 8 Tennessee versus number 25 LSU. 4-0 Tennessee Volunteers. What more can I say? Well, they beat Florida for the first time in well over a decade.
And this is where?
It's
gonna
in Baton
be
Rouge.
at
It's at
LSU. So,
But it's a noon kick.
It's not nice to point.
LSU.
Point up.
So Tennessee fans are an ego trip right now with that 4-0 start. I mean, all you see is Tennessee fans just talking a lot of smack.
It's because you're tired of hearing it. Shut up.
Mostly because they're going after your team.
I'm tired of hearing it. I'm sure everybody else in the world is also.
Really.
But LSU, since Brian Kelly came on board, has been the laughing stock of the SEC West, right? But no one seems to take them seriously. But they're 4-1 right now, y'all. 4-1. They lost to FSU. They've been playing pretty good since then.
4-1, and their only loss was a 1-point loss to Florida State, who is also a ranked team.
Yeah.
So
Brian Kelly may be getting some flack.
Are they still ranked?
Brian Kelly might be getting a little flack for his marketing of the program, but that's about it. I think that I don't think that Tennessee fans should be that comfortable right now going into Death Valley. What do y'all think about that? Chopper.
I don't think any team should ever be comfortable going inside Death Valley, ever.
those fans they'll start getting drunk at 4 a.m. It doesn't matter. I mean, The only thing Tennessee I can say, look, I'm not saying Tennessee loses, but it's a afternoon game. But because anybody that has been there, that has played there, will tell you a night game at LSU is one of the worst places to have to play a night game. Why this not a night game, I don't know, because it's not a bigger game in the SEC this week. So, but whatever. But it's a noon kick, which I think is to Tennessee's advantage. The thing is, I don't think LSU has seen an offense as potent as Tennessee's. My projection on that game right there is 35-17 Tennessee.
You think Tennessee beats them by that much?
Yes.
Oh, God, you're insane, man.
Okay.
You're
$5
insane.
side bet?
I'll do a $5 side bet on that, Yeah, that's...
What was the score of the Tennessee-Florida game?
They won by it was 26-6. No.
Did they score 30 on Florida?
Was it 33-30 or something like that, right? I can't remember. 36-33? I can't remember. It wasn't that much. It was... God, I just posted something about it earlier today. I'm sorry. It's on the Guys in the Bartender Sports Facebook group if you want to join it, while our people in the back look up the exact score.
I actually think this is going to be a letdown game for Tennessee.
Why do you say that?
I just
33-38.
You know, they've kind of been to that point where they're kind of, proving that they're over the edge, and back to their winning ways. I think they're going
to your point.
Slide.
So to Chopper's point, he may have a valid angle on this because who does Tennessee have next week? Alabama in Knoxville. Yeah. So the thing is this, you can take this one of two ways. They have a letdown game because they're overlooking it to Alabama, or they go, we better get ourselves right because Alabama's coming to town, and they do play in Knoxville, Alabama. So I don't know. I mean,
I don't think they're looking ahead to Alabama because
they are.
Hold on. They might be, but LSU is a legit force in the SEC West, man. They're not that bad.
I would agree with
team.
you, but this particular year they are sneaking around. They're not getting they're not being put up on a pedestal the way LSU normally is. I don't know.
I picked Tennessee to beat Alabama.
So did I.
But I think that they're going to lose to LSU.
So how much would if Tennessee lost against LSU? How much would that hurt them, honestly?
that's going to hurt their stock a lot.
Why?
For sure.
Because they're probably going to
If
go
they can
into
get the
next week
win,
and
if they
lose.
can get the win next weekend,
2 weeks. They'll probably have a bye week.
Because
yeah, they do.
'Cause
But if they can get the win against Alabama, and then they can end up winning the SEC East, aren't they the team?
they're not
coming
going to
out-
beat Georgia.
No.
If they can beat Alabama, they can beat Georgia.
They're not going to beat Alabama.
Look, you've seen many teams. You've seen
It
many a
doesn't-
team.
it doesn't work like that.
No, you've seen many a team knock off a big
What
team
do you
and
mean it
then come
doesn't
back
work
to a
like
lesser team and get
No,
crushed.
I'm saying, but it's going to be the top team in the East and the top team in the West
Yeah.
playing each other for the SEC championship.
Correct.
Yeah.
My point is, if they lose to LSU, in theory, it's not going to hurt them long term.
No, they still have the chance to win the SEC East.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. But the thing is like LSU is a decent team this year. No one gives them that much credit because of that loss by 1 point to FSU. If they would have won that game to FSU, if they would have won that game by 1 point, they'd be in the top 10 right now for sure.
And if it was
100%.
later,
bias.
later in the
It would be
season.
it would be a number 8
Too
team
early
against a
in
number
season.
7 or 9 team.
Yeah.
That's
Fair
how
point.
it would be right now.
Fair point.
So that's 1 point that defines them being top 20 or number 25 or number 6 maybe. You know?
And Florida State is 4-1.
And Brian Kelly's a hero because they're 5-0 right
I think
now. That's what
LSU
they-
is where Tennessee was like 2 weeks ago, like trying to prove that they're back in like a power within the conference.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think this is kind of their kind of breakthrough game. If
And-
they can get past Tennessee, everybody's going to be like, oh, they're a legit team.
with the tradition of LSU and just recent history, in my mind, they still think the East is a stepchild. That they think the worst of the West is better than the best in the East, aside from Georgia. I think they come into this game with a chip on their shoulder and confident. I think they play them tough, but I still think Tennessee pulls it out going into that game in Alabama.
Mississippi State, when they played against LSU beat Mississippi State, a legitimate competitor, right? Top 25 team.
Especially in your mind.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I've been
That's just-
harping on them all season, right? But they held Mississippi State, who's been getting 500 yards plus every game they play, to under 300 yards and only 75 rushing yards by Mississippi State. Now, defensively, LSU is a legitimate team as well. I think they're
agree.
going to win this game. I
You think
really
LSU
do.
does?
I think they're going to win this game, yeah. And the reason why is because Tennessee barely beat Florida, and Florida's not that good of a team this year.
Now, did Tennessee just
LSU's
lose
a better
receiver?
team.
Did
I'm worried.
Did Tennessee just lose like one of their top receivers?
Tennessee, so one of their top receivers just came back from being suspended, I think.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that. I'm almost certain about that.
Yeah, I like defensively. This is probably the toughest that Tennessee has faced, but I just think that offensively, LSU can't match them. So I'm going to go Tennessee here.
Okay. Huh. I'm worried about next week when Florida plays LSU. They are playing at the Swamp. That's the only thing that we got going for us. But I'm a little worried about them just because I started looking at them the last couple of days as I started preparing for the show, and I was like, holy crap, LSU is better than people give them credit for.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, their
They
coaches
got athletes.
Roll it on.
LSU has athletes.
talking their language, so.
Yep. But Tennessee does have the
Tigers.
number one total offense in the country. So
Yards,
LSU
total yards.
Total yards. Yeah.
The Ohio State is averaging the most points per game in the country.
The
I thought I'd throw that
Ohio
nugget out there.
Well, I should certainly hope so.
All right.
Utah and UCLA.
Utah versus UCLA.
All right, moving on to the next game.
That's my people.
Real quick, UCLA should not even be in this conversation.
Correct.
They are not really the number
Correct.
18 team in the country.
I disagree.
The only reason
Oh,
why
Lord.
I totally disagree.
their only reason why they're there is because they're undefeated, right? That's
Yes.
it. And they gotta make it look like it's a good team because they have to play USC, who is then gonna beat the crap out of them.
I
And
mean,
it's
did
gonna look
anybody
like
be a good game.
did anybody last week say that Washington shouldn't be ranked?
No, nobody did.
They
No.
beat Michigan
And they beat-
State. That was about it.
I'm
right?
just saying, but did
They
anybody
beat
say last week Washington should not be ranked?
But we didn't talk about Washington
was
because they were
thinking
playing UCLA.
All I'm telling you this, guys.
Top 25
All I'm telling
matchups.
you is this: is I think Utah is a pretty solid team. They got punched in the mouth week 1, and they have settled in.
And they've gotten their game together. now.
Correct. And you look at UCLA, who was it 3 weeks ago, if not for a missed field goal, lose to another Sun Belt team in South Alabama. They won by
USA,
one
baby.
game. So therefore, all I'm trying to say is one, the rankings of this are a joke. There's no reason they should be ranked that high. They haven't played that good of football. If you watch some of the games, they've done it by attrition. You'll hear me say that all year. They are where they are based on attrition.
That's
That's it.
how the
That's the
college
only
football
reason why
season is. I mean, that's how the season
I agree.
goes.
That's the only
You
reason
don't
why
have
they're
4
there.
lost teams in the top 10
Well, no, that's
unless
why-
they're from the
that's-
But
SEC.
did you guys
Well-
watch the game on Friday?
Against who?
The UCLA game against the Huskies. Did you watch the
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Huskies shot themselves in the foot.
So you're saying the Huskies lost, UCLA did
I
not
would agree
win.
with that assessment.
Okay.
Yes.
I agree with that assessment as well.
Okay.
We got to move on.
I'm a Bruins fan now.
Well, no, real quick, what I would say with this is with these rankings, I've said all along, they should not even rank teams until it comes time to start ranking for the playoff, because you get through all this crap and then you have legitimacy going.
That's a good point. Number 2, Georgia against number 74, Auburn.
Oh, this is the game we want to talk about.
Let's turn this over to Chopper since this is his game of the week. Give me the lowdown, Chopper.
All right, so this game is in Athens, and believe it or not, in this series, which is the oldest rivalry in the South, right? No two teams have ever played
Quantifier.
each other more than Auburn and Georgia. It's bigger than Auburn, Alabama in terms of the length of time we've played with each other. Now, to the game. The home team typically loses this game.
The home team typically loses this game?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good
Yes.
stat.
I did not know that.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, man? Good
Yeah,
to see
that's a
you.
good stat.
Chopper buddy. For the
Sorry.
last 2 weeks, Georgia has not looked like the best team in the country.
No,
Correct.
not at all.
And I tell you what, the most scary team to play in all of the world is an Auburn Tigers team who has nothing to play for. I'm telling you, it's scary.
And the only
They
thing
have
they got
nothing to lose.
and the
Nothing to
coach
lose.
has everything to gain.
Everything to gain. He'll get like a 10-year contract after this week. Just watch.
I'm glad that we're
Rebels.
pure and not biased at this table.
Rebel's
Yes.
over here about to die. Come on, Rebel.
No,
Give me
man.
some-
Hey, let me hear about
No,
some
man.
Appalachian State.
It's Appalachian. If
Yeah.
you're going to say it right.
What's going on in this Georgia-Auburn game?
No, to Chopper's point, it's valid. What I think honestly happens here is I think Auburn plays him close, Georgia pulls away late. And for the exact points he made, they're going to put it on the table. They're going to pull every play out of the book. They're going to pull some crap you've never seen Auburn do. Why? Because they have nothing to lose. Nobody's giving them any credit. They, if they do make a bowl game, they're going to play in the Who Gives a Damn Bowl in Alabama. So what do they have to lose? So go out there and put it
a
out
bowl
there.
game. And
Yes.
all those players on Auburn and Georgia, they all know each other. They all played together. All
Yeah.
those players know each other.
When you
Yeah.
take a
You know,
team
and
who's
it's like-
if you go traditionally and you look at power football teams that traditionally are very good, a dangerous team is a team that's playing for pride, and that's exactly what Auburn is doing right now.
Yeah,
Hey, and we got off to we didn't finish, but we got off to a 17-0 start against LSU and should have finished it. Stupid mistakes, but I'm telling you, if we get hot,
Chopper, hear me now, listen to me later. Tank Bigsby runs wild on the Bulldogs. Tigers for the win.
So a couple weeks ago we were talking about the two worst teams in the SEC, Auburn playing Mizzou, right? And Auburn won that game.
That was what you guys
no,
wanted to
what
say.
do you
No.
mean? Those aren't the two worst teams.
That was what Hanger
No,
was
there's
saying.
one worse team in the SEC. There's one worse team in the SEC.
We're not going to bring that up.
So listen.
Vanderbilt.
So
No.
Auburn,
North Carolina.
Auburn beat Mizzou,
Barely.
and
Barely.
Georgia barely beat Mizzou. So this is a game, y'all.
It's
This-
always a game. Just throw the records out, man. And just like
Tank
this is
Bigsby,
like,
162 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns.
This is more like, oh, you don't think I'm any good? You're number 2? Let me show you something.
So-
is what it is going to be.
On the Guys at the Bar Talking Sports Facebook group, where we give out a free beer sponsored by Big Earns Real Estate Company or whatever it's called, right?
Fair enough. And MJ's Bar and Grill.
MJ's Bar and Grill.
Hey, way to back our
Anyway,
sponsors.
Yeah.
So anyhow, he's gonna take away that sponsorship quick. Big Earns Real Estate Company. So whatever it's called. So everyone's going with Georgia. Everyone's going with Georgia. Big
Except
time.
for.
And me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's like
and the
4 or
blind.
5 people.
I
There's
said-
4 of us.
Yeah.
So you think Georgia loses this week?
Yeah, I just said
Now we're
Tank
at
Bigsby.
5.
I think Georgia loses this week.
Whoa, is this going to be a unanimous?
No.
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 All right, so.
Absolutely not.
I love this table. I love this table.
Currently, we got 80% of the table going with Auburn for the
But I will say this.
historic
I
upset.
brainwashed y'all somehow.
No, I will
I
say
just
this
feel
though.
bad for you.
I will say this though. My comment last week was I said the way this year is going to shake out is the top 2 or 3 are just going to walk away with it, and it's going to be a muddle behind that, or it's going to be chaos where on any given week somebody can lose. This is looking more like a basketball season than a football season, to where a team gets hot, a team gets sloppy, somebody can lose. Every team in college football can lose on any given week this week, and that's going to be fun going down the stretch.
I gotta pull it away from y'all because we gotta reel it in. All right. Alabama against Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher is on the hot seat. They're gonna buy his contract out if he doesn't do something.
No, he's not.
Now listen, Alabama versus Texas A&M. This is an unranked Texas A&M team now, but this is a team that can possibly beat Alabama.
Alabama by 28. Alabama by 28.
Yeah,
There's no way. They don't even have a chance. No.
Alabama.
Texas A&M.
So you think Alabama's gonna walk away with it?
Oh,
No
yes.
problem?
Huge.
Moving on.
No.
Yeah.
Alabama wins the game, but it's not going to be by 28 points.
What do you think it's gonna be by?
10 or less.
27.
10
So,
or less.
how many games were on there?
Last game,
How many games total did you pick here?
6, I think.
How many are from the SEC?
All of them. Well, there was no big name.
There was one.
What?
There was a Big 12, and everything else.
Yes.
No, I had
It's
Utah,
SEC.
UCLA,
Rutgers
and I had
and
All right.
and I had
All right,
TCU
two.
and Kansas.
That's awful.
Listen,
You
I'm
act like
sorry.
we're in SEC country.
I'm sorry, Big Ten is not throwing a bunch of good games this time of year. They do all their big games
At the end of the year.
At the end of the year,
There's
yeah.
only like 2 of
Ohio
them.
State, Michigan State could have been,
Yeah,
or should
that-
have been,
I-
but it's not.
That was my pick for who Ohio State would lose to this year.
Mizzou at Florida.
Why the hell are we talking about this?
Because I'm going to the game.
Because
I'm going to be there. In the
Because he
swamp.
he runs the
This
podcast. That's
weekend,
why.
baby. And it's my podcast. I can talk about what I want to.
All right,
Cry if you want to.
Just
The
party.
Ripper Report may be taking a temporary hiatus in protest.
That's this weekend, huh? Wow.
That is this week. I'm going down to Florida with my family.
That'll be fun.
My kids love to go to football games as a family, so we're going
That should be
to
awesome.
the swamp. I'm looking forward to the Florida Gators whooping up on some Mizzou and showing that we can easily beat Mizzou, unlike Georgia
Hey,
Or
Hanger.
Auburn.
or
Those,
Auburn.
those,
Nobody's really easily beaten Mizzou. They just kind of
those
beat them.
defensive ends can get after it for Mizzou. I mean,
You just chop block them. That's all you got to
Watch
do.
out for the thicker
I think it's
kicker.
illegal.
So
If you go below
The
the
thicker
knee,
kicker.
that's fine.
And watch
out for the thicker kicker.
Watch out for Beavis.
But if you
Yeah.
just run it,
Beavis.
I can hit you all day.
so
We like
Mizzou.
sidebars here.
Yeah. But sidebar conversations, all of our fans hear that also.
I know, and they love it.
They
They're like,
love
what did
that.
he just say?
Why do you think we added like
Get on
150
Facebook. What were they
last
talking
week?
about on the sidebar?
Let me rewind that so I can hear what they were talking about. Yeah. People are actually breaking up our show into multiple segments.
I used to
They
get
can
called
do
the
that.
surgeon because my ability to cut block people, so I was just educating the Ripper on the cut block.
Gotcha.
You said chop block.
So on the Florida game, just for all of our Florida fans that are listening,
Right?
okay? Jalen Kitna, who is the backup to Anthony Richardson, was having perfect practices, 100%.
Did you say Kitna?
Yeah, he was the
Is this
son of
John Kitna?
of Don Kitna. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So he's the 5-star quarterback that backs up Anthony Richardson. Now, Florida fans were worried because we did not have a sure backup player to Anthony Richardson. So the coach was sitting there saying, take care of yourself. We don't have anyone to back you up. But during the game last week against Western or Eastern Washington State or whatever, Jalen Kitna comes in 8 for 10 through 170 yards and really was on fire. Now
What the fuck?
What the fuck? That's not a what the fuck moment.
I'm trying to get a smooth transition for you, boss.
He's hung up on a worthless Mizzou game.
I know it. I'm glad you're going. We got to move
What
on.
the fuck? Let's go on to what the fuck then. All right, I'll do my what the fuck first, and I'll move around to y'all, okay?
Nobody has mine, I promise.
Better not take mine.
What's going on this season with some very unexpected top 25 teams?
Wait a minute. I thought
The Ripper Report talked about this today in his article, and I have to bring up an anomaly in the Big 12. One state is leading the Big 12. One state, and it's not Texas.
Kansas.
It's freaking Kansas, man. They're 9-1 between the two teams. What the fuck, Kansas? Why did you have to take it away from Texas as being the #1 state in the Big 12?
Apparently not everything's bigger in Texas.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Chopper, give me a what the fuck.
All right, so I want to talk a little bit about this Texas A&M football team and what their record might be going down the line. All right, so they are 3-2 right now. They play Alabama. My predictions are they'll be 3-3. Right? Listen to this. The rest of their schedule after they're 3-3. At South Carolina. Is that a win? Maybe. Yeah.
That's a win.
Ole Miss.
That's a loss.
Florida.
That's a loss.
That's 5 losses. At Auburn.
That's a loss.
6 losses. UMass. That's a win.
That's a win, yeah.
LSU.
That's a loss.
God, are they going to be 5-7?
I have them at 7-5. I counted 4 wins there. I'm not going to tell you which ones.
But I mean,
Yeah.
$7.5 million for that.
Oh, no.
Ain't it?
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Texas A&M. Cheeks, give me it.
All right, I've got a part 1 and part 2. Part
No,
1.
it has to be one.
Part 1's really short.
All right,
The
go.
Eagles are 4-0.
Woo! What
the
the
fuck?
fuck? Eagles, what the fuck?
And then the other one is the Chicago Bears released their kicker. The guy who scored all of their points on Sunday released him today.
What the
What the
fuck? Chicago Bears?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Idiots. Yeah.
Ripper, you got me a what the fuck?
I do. So this weekend I will be fishing the South Carolina Bass Nation State 6-man tournament. I'll be competing against 92 other boats.
You putting weight in your fish? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
He's right-handed.
You know what? I apologize. Total dick move right there. So, I'm going to be fishing this weekend. My what the fuck moment is up on Lake Erie last Friday, 2 D-bags fishing a walleye tournament, literally stuffed 8 pounds worth of lead weights down the throat of their catch, got caught, tried to steal basically $50,000 in prize money and winnings by doing this.
What the fuck, douchebags?
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
What the fuck are you doing that in the middle of my segment,
That's
yo?
where you were going. So mine is this, because, and I catch a lot of flack for this, as this is Guys at the Bar talking sports, so I can appreciate my man Ripper here taking a left turn at Albuquerque. There's 162 games in a baseball season, and as tonight, before I walked in this bar, 161 games into a baseball season, the Atlanta Braves laid down their first sacrifice bunt of the year in 162 games.
What the
What the fuck?
All right, let's talk about last call since we had
I don't
our
think you're good.
world famous bartender Candy do a last call on us. Which
She
team?
already said it.
Okay, never mind.
Which team was either unranked or at a much lower ranking at the start of the season and is impressing you the most so far this season? For me, It's the 5-0 Syracuse Orangemen, baby. Shout out to my man, the Roosters. And the Roosters' mom, the Queen Hen herself.
There she is.
Okay?
I like it.
That is a good team. Watch out for the Syracuse Orangemen. They still have to play here. Clemson, Florida.
Orange. It's just the orange.
Oh, because they didn't want to be linked
2004.
They didn't want to be linked to Donald Trump.
Oh, it was 2004.
Hey, we go political here.
Yeah, dude.
I was just kidding. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Maybe it's a woman thing.
I can't make a joke. So anyway,
No, I don't.
Shout out to my man, the Rooster, and the Queen Hen herself. They're going to be looking pretty good this season. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So,
give it to
so
me.
I'm going to pull the cheeks here real quick. 2.5 wins. That's what Syracuse and Kansas were projected by Vegas. That was the over-under, and here they both are at 5-0. So, kudos to them for that. My surprise team, going a little homer here, is from the Fun Belt, Sun Belt. Coastal Carolina lost a couple people on defense, a couple people on offense, and here we are again. They are 5-0 coming down the stretch. They're not that bad.
Yeah.
Still tearing it up.
Still tearing it up.
Their quarterback.
What are they ranked?
They're not.
Oh.
Yeah, they're gonna have a hard time being.
They were. I think they were projected to finish third in the Sun Belt East. They're at the top of the standings right now.
Yeah.
Ripper the Predictor.
Yes, sir. All right, so 4-0, Rocky Top, Tennessee. That is the team I am the most impressed with. That, like last year, I thought they had some momentum. This year, they're showing offensively that they can hang with just about anybody offensively. On the other side of the ball, not so much, but Tennessee is a team that's got my interest so far this year.
Nice. Cheeks.
So mine is, and hold back your laughter there, okay? Thank you.
He did order.
Yeah, he started it off.
Well, you preface it with that. What do you expect?
Mine is UCLA.
Oh, Lord.
I mean,
They're going all the way.
so
Hey, Ryan.
last week, thank you.
Last 8-9 wins.
Beating Washington.
Well, last week in itself, DTR
Chip Kelly.
threw for 315 yards.
That's pretty solid, yeah.
That's solid.
Hey, what about
And
Charbonnet, the running back?
Yes, exactly.
Dark horse Heisman candidate from the Ripper Report.
I about threw up in my
Read it.
mouth.
Jake Bobo had 6 catches,
All right.
142 yards. I mean, I think the real, but go ahead, laugh.
The real deal.
The real
UCLA.
Hey, we're going
baby.
to find out this weekend, right?
All right.
Yeah,
We
or
are,
when
actually.
they play against USC.
Yeah, or when they play
USC
USC.
is my pick anyway, so I can't lose on that one.
There's your homerism of the week.
Chopper.
Let's go with Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yeah, I know the 4-1 now, but a tough loss to Ole Miss though,
With a bad call.
because they're a good ball club. They're a good
They
team.
are,
They'll be
okay.
good down the stretch. Watch out for the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah.
Everybody make sure that you tune into Guys Bar Talking Sports every week. Subscribe to the show. Read the
Facebook.
Ripper Report on guysofthebartalkingsports.substack.com. Join our Facebook group and come on back every week for Guys in the Bar Talking Sports. If you like the show and you want to help the guys grow the show, go ahead and go to your podcatcher and subscribe to the show. Then you could also write us a review and give us 5 stars. If you do that, it'll help us grow the show. You could also join our Facebook group, which allows you to have camaraderie with other sports fans all over the country. You might even get a free beer out of it. So go ahead and join that group as well. And then check out our Substack, which is guysofthebartalkingsports.substack.com for weekly articles and the Ripper Report.